Good evening. We interrupt this daily programming to bring you breaking news.
That's right, Jimmy boy. Something is breaking through the clouds, and it hit us, Gotham, out of the sky. Where did it land, and where's Batman? We need to know.
In further news, Detective Jim Gordon says there's nothing to be worried about as the investigative team is on the scene. Let's go to our guys in the field.
So we're starting off with Iron Man working with Dr. Strange, doing some science experiments, fiddling with some time experiments, and they actually discover the multiverse. I was thinking about this the other day when we were talking about like a vortex sucking Iron Man in, and the cloak is what saves Strange, until it eventually lets him go. Would it happen kind of like what happened in the Ant-Man movie when the newest one, when the daughter was showing them the two-way pretty much signal, and then they get sucked in? Is that like the kind of picture in my mind? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
spontaneous.
Yeah, just kind of like something that happened.
Iron Man gets sucked in, and then Doctor Strange is just like, "Oh, I gotta hold him for my dear life."
Right.
And then he's realizing he has to save him.
Right. And then I think we dove into it when we was doing our own little study session for it. Doctor Strange is helping him on a pretty much magic level. He has to be, because other than that, his
what's Iron Man's original?
Is a surgeon.
What was Iron Man's goal originally for coming to Strange? Before the vortex happened.
Well, see that I feel like that would be a whole nother what if, because that creates a whole nother setup to the scenario that we've created here. Yeah. Starting off with Iron Man getting sucked into the vortex, and then, as I said, obviously Doctor Strange is in the lab with him or wherever they are doing this experiment, and his cloak. The Sanctum would be cool, which I think the Sanctum is where they did the Spider-Man one. So
yeah, that's where all powerful spells have to go down.
Probably, which would be a cool little overlap Easter egg that comes back at the end as well. Like this is where like the center point of where the big spells that go wrong happen. So that would be another little touch to the story.
You still see like damage from where Spider-Man was there.
Yeah.
This could be after.
Yeah, because it could just be like a build-up, like you're in ruins of something that happened a long time ago, or if you're in the past, it hasn't happened yet, or something like that. Let him fall into the portal with him so he can save him. So he doesn't have his cloak in the portal, which would be like a weird.
Why doesn't he have his cloak?
That's what I was about to say. It would be a plot hole in a movie, of course, if they made it live action. They would do that where he didn't have that extra ability of having his cloak. So some way or somehow.
That could be like the cloak could be what was holding on to the doorknob into the other universe, and the vortex actually cut him off.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets separated.
Okay. Yeah, because if he has the cloak, then it kind of makes it a little too not
but
easy,
then he dies if he's falling too high from the vortex because he can't fly. Well, he's probably got spells.
Magic. He can turn it into like steps or something like that and walk down before he falls. Cool little on the way down. That'd be a cool little animation or
cool idea.
Go ahead.
Just about the cape, because this obviously it had to be created. So what if it's become such an attachment to Strange that when he lands in the DC, he just grabs something that kind of
catches
him and like animates it to a new cape. And now we got
kind of like passes along the magic through the world of Marvel to DC.
Yeah, maybe. Somehow he walks up on Robin. He just sneaks up. The vortex shoots him into an alley where Robin's beating up somebody.
Oh, okay.
And he just catches him while he's down. And is like, oh, okay. Takes it.
That would be good.
Just something.
That's a little spin, and it would be like a side note character that's actually not a part of the whole entire story.
Yeah,
that would be good. That would be really good. A villain actually apprehending Iron Man before Batman gets to him.
Right.
So we were thinking the reason we chose Arkham Asylum is because we were thinking about somebody that could, do some type of mind control on Tony, something like that to make Tony fight against Batman. Because I feel like the intuition of being a superhero, he would know that Batman was a good guy. Eventually, not quickly, because he would have to fight him.
Batman gives off vigilante vibes.
Yeah,
so
that is true, but I mean, isn't Iron Man just a rich vigilante?
Yeah, but he's flashy. He looks more of a superstar.
Yeah.
Versus somebody that
their fight would last probably about as long as maybe Iron Man and Thor's did when they fought in the first Avengers, when they first met. Something like that. When Thor didn't know what was going on, that would be that type of fight, and then it would eventually be like, wait, I'm a good guy, you're a good guy. Let's figure out what's happening. So that would happen too fast. So we were thinking somebody needs to get a hold of Tony first to make him a bad guy already. That way Batman has more of a job to do than just...
He's got to break the mind control.
He's got to break the mind control, which he's very good at according to comics. According to history,
but he's got to figure that out first to know he has to do that.
That's right. So we were going to go into what actual villains could be capable of doing these things. And we were actually talking about a team up here. We were talking about using the Mad Hatter. On here, it's saying that he was using advanced technology often, and that was his form of mind control. So he was using like computer chips, or he'd do like a headband, something like that to do mind control. So anything electronic, Mad Hatter was the number one villain in Gotham.
I think the only time I've seen him was the Teen Titans.
Well, yeah, that's what I was telling you. He's not portrayed a lot.
I think it was a card on the hat.
Yeah, it's a card. For him to be popular, And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is based off of, obviously, the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. The second villain that would be helping the Mad Hatter, which would be Hugo Strange. And I don't know if you've seen it, but the TV show Gotham, it portrays Hugo Strange the best. That is, and he even looks like him in the show. And it's pretty comic book accurate as to how cynical he is and how he uses brainwashing techniques and stuff like that. Using his brainwashing techniques to use mind control to take over Iron Man. And the reason I was saying we decided to bring Mad Hatter in is because obviously before Tony enters a vortex, his suit, jumps on him, like that nanotech. Pretty much he's got it on him. So he goes into his suit. He gets beat up on the way through. He gets knocked out. He crash lands, and obviously has a suit on. So when Hugo sees this, he's like, "Ooh, I need something. I need somebody that's more advanced, for the technology."
But he crashes at the asylum. Yeah, that's how Hugo gets his hands on it.
Right. That just makes it a lot more convenient, and it's Gotham City. It's not very huge. They apprehend Iron Man. He crash lands. He's knocked out. They start basically dissecting, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to take the suit apart. They figure out that it's just a human guy operating the suit.
Mask off.
Yeah, get the mask off. That's when he comes in with his brainwashing abilities, and then obviously the Mad Hatter goes to work on the suit, making sure that it's rigged up and ready to go, because obviously it's Gotham City. They just seen this big blue orbit thing come into atmosphere and crash land. Batman knows about it. Yeah. Batman's light is already in the sky. You know what I mean? So everybody's calling on Batman to figure out what the hell that was. So they got to work quick. They got to do it fast. Maybe they bring in some extra characters. Maybe they don't.
It was just a gift. What
Tony
brought was exactly what they needed. So it
worked. It works out perfectly. Right. The coincidence of comics, or the coincidence of comic storytelling. Yeah. So pretty much the Mad Hatter goes to work on the suit. He gets it under his control, and all they need to do is stick Tony back into the suit to make it operate. So all he does is brainwash Tony, sticks Tony back into it, and then we could say either the Mad Hatter is controlling it the whole time, or Hugo Strange is using his brainwashing techniques to operate Tony. You see what I'm saying? So is it Tony doing it, or is it the suit making Tony's?
Well, what if they
Tony can't stop it. So.
What if they?
There's two ways you can do it.
Yeah, well, here's maybe a third way. since it is two separate things, they take Tony out of the suit. What if they kind of brainwash Jarvis, as in the suit itself's programming?
Yeah, just
they beat up Tony, and now he's kind of resisting the program, but he still has to be put in there to operate the suit. So he's like kind of brainwashed, but it's a play because it's Arkham Asylum and Hugo Strange's practices.
Okay.
And so now he's fighting, it's a battle within itself because they're teammates.
Title: Strange Alliances. Iron Man and Dr. Strange are experimenting with a new transdimensional portal when something goes wrong. They're sucked into a vortex and dropped into the DC universe, specifically Gotham City. Tony is captured by Hugo Strange and the Mad Hatter Jarvis Tetch, who brainwash him, planting a virus in his suit to turn him into a killing machine. Batman detects the unusual energy signatures from the portal and starts investigating. He manages to subdue Tony, bringing him back to the Batcave. Batman attempts to break Tony's brainwashing and remove the virus from his suit. Once Tony is free and his suit is restored, he and Batman team up to stop Hugo Strange and the Mad Hatter. They discover that Hugo and Jarvis have created a nano android using Tony's suit technology, which is now a threat to Gotham. The climax sees Batman, Iron Man, and Dr. Strange combining their unique skills and resources. Batman's strategy, Tony's tech, and Steven's magic create a formidable team. Dr. Strange manages to open a portal back to their universe. Before leaving, Tony and Steven thank Batman for his help, establishing a mutual respect. This ending maintains the essence of each character while creating an exciting and plausible crossover story.